Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I'm right now in northern Florida for about another week and a half. If you want to find out anything about me, go to MySpace or Facebook, where I have an account. I'm also on Twitter. This here is about an idea of mine that would help uh, rising uh, musicians become better known and have an opportunity to play their music for a national audience. And it's really not a very superb idea. It's concept, pitch, or anything. It's really basic. But apparently, since no one else wants to pitch it, I'm just going to pitch it here for what it's worth. Basically, my concept pitch is that if enough country stars, rock stars, just musicians overall, especially those coming up through the ranks, with the help of some of those on the top, like Dolly Parton and George Jones and Glenn Campbell and others, to help them out, create a 24-hour music cable network that features primarily country stars, rock stars, or musicians who are coming up through the ranks who are not yet famous and want an opportunity to play their music. And they should be allowed to come from anywhere in the world, as long as, of course, the audience here in America can understand it. And hopefully this thing would spread to other nations. Here on MySpace and on YouTube and all over, I have seen just an outstanding number of musicians who really are trying hard to become successful musicians. And they have a lot of talent, but they're not really getting the recognition I think that they really strive for. And that's a problem. Even though they can play it on the internet and they reach a wide variety of people, still most of them, we still live in an age of the television, where a lot of these musicians would still like to be on the national television stage. And that's what a 24-hour music cable network could do. Unfortunately, with all the MTV and all that stuff there, they don't really play music videos anymore. And they only play really people who are at the top or just one type of music. This music cable network would have musicians from everywhere, all kinds of music: rock music, country music, gospel music, soul music, rhythm and blues, you name it, it's on there. And these musicians, up and coming musicians, can play their music to become known and hopefully to reach the stardom that they dream about and that they work so hard for. But when you look on MySpace at all the musicians on there, man, there are some really good ones on there, but they're not yet famous. They can't. They're working hard to try to become famous, and they haven't made it yet. This could be the way to help a lot of good talent out there become famous and well known. I'm sorry, I'm not the greatest communicator in the world, but these musicians that have not become famous now would become famous then, because there's a lot of good ones. Star Search and all these other TV shows, that brought in new talent, let people, try, like this Idol. I be honest, I don't watch Idol. I don't watch any of that stuff, but I do hear about it a lot, and there's a lot of, people become famous after some of this. But this is one way to go about it. Unfortunately, the problem we have here in America is we have all these people taking over these music networks, like MTV. You basically have the same people, I think. They don't want to play music anymore. Like the country station, they want to play TV shows and movies. This is a country, rock, soul, rhythm and blues, gospel network, music network, where new talent, new musicians, and those who have some really good songs to play will get an opportunity to do so. Not just once, but maybe many times over. Again, it's 24 hours a day. I don't know if they could run it 24 hours a day. They may have to, I don't know if we can do that. But they would have a time where they can come on there and they can play their music and let the American people decide who has talent and who does not. And keep out the experts out of it. Just let them come in, be themselves, and play what they want to play, and let it go with that. And I think you'll find more than enough advertisers out there with sponsors to sponsor some things. That's what we need here in America. And we need to keep these idiots off, out of control, not to allow them to have control of networks like this that turn it into a movie network. They call themselves a country music or a rock music network or music network or whatever, and yet they don't even show any music anymore, or they just play one type of music that nobody wants to hear. This is an opportunity, because see, here in America we've got a serious problem right now. We have no creativity. We have people in government that are just completely incompetent. They can't govern. And we've got an entertainment industry that's incompetent, who cannot come up with hardly anything new anymore. And it's just because you have these people, a certain group of people that have control of everything, and they don't want change. They want to keep it just the way it is. That's what they do at MTV. They don't want really to change anything. They don't want to. They don't really care whether you're really watching anymore. Why? Because they get their money anyway. You know the old saying, "I got mine." Well, they got theirs. They don't care. They're not going to go hungry tonight. They're not going to go homeless tonight. They've got exactly what they want, all that money, and these idiot sponsors keep advertising on that garbage. People used to like MTV. People used to like VH1, but now I don't know what they're doing. And same with the country music stations. I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea. We need to go back to our roots, you know, when television began, when we had Sonny and Cher, we had the Smothers Brothers, we had all kinds of country shows. We don't have that anymore. We had Ed Sullivan. You know, of course, that was a little before my time, but I can just barely remember him, and it was a great show. It was very successful. Music artists like the Beatles and Elvis got to play on there, and you know, and they became more famous when they did. A 24-hour, at least a 24-hour music cable network to give up-and-coming musicians an opportunity for the world to see them, so that their dreams can come true, and that we can get out of this rut that we're in, where we're being held hostage by people who have absolutely no creativity, no will, and will not change. And to get out of this rut where these idiots at MTV and the country stations, music stations, networks, you know, are showing anything but music videos anymore. We can do better than this. And these musicians that I've seen on MySpace and YouTube, they should have an opportunity to play. I don't care what country they come from. As long as they don't, it's not vile, it's not some rapper on there that's, you know, singing about calling women whores and sluts and stuff. We don't need that kind of garbage. And we don't need that kind of garbage where they're down there, let's go kill some cops. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the basics. And there's a lot of good talent, music talent on MySpace. And I've been reading and watching what all these musicians are doing, especially these up-and-coming ones. They really have talent. They really want to be famous. It's a dream, and we have the ability to make that a reality here in America if we just have the will. We don't have the will, and that's where our problem lies. I have to stop here. Anyway, there's something to think about, and I hope one day all these country stars and rock stars and just musicians, and those especially at the top, will come together and try to make this a reality for these up-and-coming artists. They need to remember where they came from, and that they got their opportunity. Now it's time to give these other musicians that are all over MySpace an opportunity to become famous and to show the world what they got. Thank you for your time.